Hello everyone, welcome back to My Gathering Basket. My name is Danelle. Thank you for joining me for the August update of My Gathering Basket. It seems like no matter what I do, this becomes a monthly podcast. So we'll just go with it and I'll catch you up as best I can in a very short podcast. Again, because I am definitely uploading from home or wherever I can find some bandwidth. So I have gotten quite a little bit of variety done in the month of July since I talked to you. It's been a fun month in some ways. As far as homesteading goes, I'll start with that because it's a quick update. The weather's been all over the map. Our garden it feels like September. Our garden is almost done, really. Like, we're ready to start planting the fall crops. That would be fall beans, possibly a little bit of fall sweet corn, broccoli, cabbage, kale, all of that kind of thing. So we are way ahead. Our corn finished very fast. We've got that all put up in the freezer. Our beans are done and pulled. The first part of the cucumber crop is done. So like, the garden looks almost bare. So we'll be getting some of that filled in. And before long, it'll be time to put the garlic back in and get the winter crops in. My cotton is doing better than I have ever had cotton do. Now, I don't know what kind of harvest I'll have because we're not quite there yet. But I have a record number of bolls developing, and I have heirloom green, brown, and white all growing. So not many plants of each. I think I've got somewhere around 8 to 10 of each, but it looks beautiful in the row. And some of it, one variety, I believe it's the brown, is well over 4 foot tall. So it is doing very well, and I'm hoping the harvest does just as well as the plants are. So I'll be really looking forward to seeing how that goes. And I don't want to jinx myself, but hopefully I'll have a lot of cotton spinning to do this winter. So that's kind of the homestead update. Trying to think if there's anything else. I told you that I was not seeing much in the way of monarch caterpillars, and I still haven't. There's been a few around, but not very many. But what we have had are black swallowtails. So I wasn't going to raise any butterflies until I got to work one day, and the greenhouse is just about empty at work, but we had some herbs that we were just kind of keeping for ourselves to cut on. And my boss said, Danelle, there's worms on the parsley. If you can go take care of those this morning, they're eating everything up. And I looked at her and I started to laugh because I thought she was kidding. And I went to go check, and sure enough, they were just riddled. I think I picked off something like 14 black, and these are just little tiny plants, a few of them that we hadn't sold yet. So I think I picked off 14 black swallowtail caterpillars that were just itty bitty, so they were still solid black. So I brought those home to put on our parsley. Black swallowtails live on anything in the parsley, dill, fennel, that family, which I should know that they're umbrels, but I can't remember the scientific name of that family. But every year we grow dill and parsley basically for the butterflies. And last year we didn't see, and the year before we didn't see a one, but we were full of monarch butterfly caterpillars everywhere. This year it's the opposite. So I did go ahead and bring, I think I've got 9 in my little enclosure, and I'll try to take a picture of it and put it at the end. But I think I've got 9 mostly adult caterpillars. I keep bringing in parsley every day to feed them because they are voracious eaters. So I keep bringing them in, and it seems like every time I bring in parsley for them, there's an egg or two on the parsley. So I keep getting new caterpillars starting, but that's been kind of fun. I've got one I just saw this afternoon. Looks like maybe it's about ready to start. It's exploring and kind of going high in the enclosure. And that's usually a sign that they're about ready to form a chrysalis. I've never raised black swallowtails before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing. They have a very different chrysalis. It'll be fun to see what this does compared to the monarchs. So that's been my butterfly adventure. I did want to show you, because I alluded to it in previous podcasts, I was working on growing black hollyhocks and Queen Anne's lace to try dyeing. Now, Queen Anne's laces can make a really pretty light green, kind of a yellow-green color dye. So I was really excited. And the black hollyhocks are supposed to be able to make kind of a red-purple. So I was really hoping that I could do a bunch of natural dyes and do a Fair Isle. I was going to do the Katie's Cup Fair Isle hat. However, natural dyes cannot be counted on. So I did go ahead and dye up some yarn in both of them. This is what the hollyhock. So it's got a little bit of a purple undertone, kind of a rosy purple. It's not that it's not pretty, but it's not anything outstanding. So it's just a very kind of a, well, it's a pretty true color. I'm coming across on my monitor. Kind of a gray purple. So I was a little disappointed in that. That was one of my dyeing adventures. And then I've got two things I'm working on spinning. So one of my projects on my Make 9 list for the year is the Bly cardigan. And this is by Amy Christophers. It's a free pattern on the Broco website, and I will try to link to it. It calls for a DK weight, kind of a DK worsted. The gauge is 20 stitches, 28 rows, and 4 inches. So I had worked on kind of gauge swatched a couple of the yarns that I have, and I just wasn't coming up with what I wanted. So I decided I would try to make it. And this is just the yarn that this was designed in, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's just kind of a natural tweed. So I got to looking at my yarns or fiber stash, and I have like 3 pounds of this mixed BFL. So it's, I have about half of a bobbin spun, about 50 grams. So I didn't want to take it off the wheel and try to show you. But if you can imagine, this is coming out with the 2 colors like that. As I spin it, it's coming out to look very tweedy. So I think it's going to be really pretty if I can get all of that spun. I'm going to need about 500 grams. That's a lot of spinning for me at the rate that I go. So that's my spinning slash knitting slash Make 9 project that's coming up. That's probably going to be this fall. I am making fairly good progress on my Make 9. I think I have 4 projects done. One of them, and I had talked about doing this, I don't think I showed you last time, but I have this done. I have the Boost Beanie finished. So this is another one of the Shetland Wool Week hats from, I don't remember which year. It's been several years back. It was one of the older ones. And I wasn't really all that, when it first came out, I wasn't all that intrigued by it. And then I saw so many different color combinations. So when I was at Wool Week last year, I picked up, and I've shown you these, some Uredale yarns. And I don't know, it's just called jumper weight. So this is Shetland, it's organic Shetland. Uredale is a farm south of Lerwick, I believe. And they specialize in all organic processing. So they grow their own sheep and they have a mini mill on location. And I don't believe this is actually natural dyed, but they do a lot of natural dyeing as well. So I had 2 colors, and then I used a Jamieson and Smith in their jumper weight. And this is just shade 27. So I put 2 of the Uredales and the Jamieson and Smith together. Honestly, I could have used all Uredale. I did have a 3rd skein. The color wasn't fantastic, but so I went ahead and I kind of wanted a gray, but the pattern called for 2 skeins of the background color. So what I used for this gray. And honestly, when I was all finished, I think I used like 10 yards of the second ball. So I probably could have made this red a little bit bigger or something and just done 1 skein of each. But I'm really happy with how that came out. I've got it blocked. So I am on to, right now, I don't have any color work on my needles, and I'm kind of getting itchy. I have had color work on the needles for like a year now. So I need to find my next color work. I'm debating on which pattern I want to do next. It was a lot of fun, extremely easy. I think it is a 10 row repeat. So again, this would be another one that if you are new to color work, just want to try some color work. Oh, I'm sorry, with the 2 colors, it's a 7 row per color, but then the arrows go 2 different directions. So like I said, it's a free pattern. That is the pattern. So it's extremely rhythmic, very easy to pick up. Once you get through the first color repeat, honestly, you don't really even need the pattern. I did until I got to the last couple repeats, and then it was like, oh, okay, I think I figured this out now. But it could have been extremely easy, and really don't need the pattern once you get through the first repeat. So it's a great beginner project, or it would be a great kind of mindless color work, if there is such a thing, if you are familiar, more advanced color work. So anyway, Boostabini, highly recommend it. And I have seen so many, if you look up the hashtag on Instagram, there are so many cool color combinations. I've seen whole rainbows or gradients, where they've used a background and then just one like gradient skein and let it change. So you're just using 2 colors through the whole thing. I've seen mini skein sets where each one was a different color. So many possibilities with this. Highly recommend the Boostabini. So that's been my color work knitting. And then, which do I want to show next? Okay, and then my other knitting, I have had horrible luck with socks. You guys know that. But not to be deterred, I found this pattern when the new Knitty came out. And I don't do too many patterns out of Knitty, but every once in a while. And this is a lace sock pattern by Stephanie Johnson. The picture, I'm sorry, I just have the black and white. The picture isn't fantastic, but the name is philodendron. Now the plant I've got right back here is a philodendron, and I have a bunch of other varieties of philodendrons at the greenhouse and several at home. I really like the philodendron family. They're easy to grow. They are showy. They are one of those plants that is supposed to do a good job of cleaning air quality. So they're fun plants. So when I saw the name philodendron, I had to try it. Now I've just got to start, just barely. It's a patterned cuff, and I've just got, trying to, you know how it is with lace, you have to have it blocked. But if you can just barely see the leaves. So the leaves are going to alternate and down the leg and the top of the sock. And I'm actually kind of liking it. It took me, it's a long repeat. This is 1.5 repeats here. So it is definitely something I have to look at the pattern. I don't anticipate it being one I will memorize. I may be wrong by the time I do enough repeats. I have, like I said, 1.5 repeats. I think the pattern says 4 repeats for the leg and then start on the heel. The heel is a little bit different on this pattern too. So I'm interested to see how that actually, like I've read it, but I have to see it. So I'm interested to see how it knits up, and I will let you know. But I think I am going to do more than 4 repeats. I think I tend to like my sock legs a little bit on the long side. So I will probably have a few more. And this is yarn that I got at a retreat. It was a retreat colorway, so I don't know that it is available. It was dyed by Show Me Yarns, and I have been saving this for a number of years. This is what it looks like, and I thought it was so fun. Probably a bad choice for lace knitting. It doesn't show the pattern quite as well just because of the variegation in the yarn, but it looked like doesn't it look like philodendron to you? So I'm going to give it a try and see. This is my first pair of I knit a pair of monkey socks, but I think that's the only other lace sock, true lace sock. I've done some others that had like little eyelet details, but not a full lace sock. So I may be in for heartbreak again, but we'll see. So I am working on that. The other spinning / knitting that I am working on, you guys saw me knit up a couple gnomes, And Sarah Shira from Imagined Landscapes has her Summer Mystery Cow knit along coming up. It starts this next week. I am so excited. I did a hand knit gnome, this is her 4th knit along. I think I did her first one, and I haven't done the ones in between. But I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and spin up the yarn for this one. So this is my gnome in a ball. It's all hand spun. And at one point I knew what all of these were. I think this is my, that's why I had it mixed up. This is some of my Queen Anne's lace. So you can see the color it's just very, very pale. But the Queen Anne's lace, this is some merino silk from Ashland Bay. And then the outer 2 are Romney that I dyed with logwood. And I think I had shown you this when I did it, but I hadn't spun any up. So I think I have these all measured out correctly. The pattern is for minis, a set of minis, and I believe it is a 20 gram. So I have almost 20 grams, between 20 and 30 grams, I think is what I ended up doing on each of these colors. And I just did 2-ply, so I spun them one at a time, and then, is that what I did? Yeah. So I spun the colors each individually in little tiny skeins, and then I went to ply them. I center ball plied them into a 2-ply, and when I finished one color, I hooked on the next one and started to ply again. So these will all come apart. I will pull them apart into mini skeins when the pattern comes out this week and the first clue. And but I just thought it was kind of a fun way to show it. So this is my gnome in a ball, and I am looking forward to seeing what this pattern looks like. Her gnomes are always so much fun, and there's always a little bit of a twist. She said that there are, I believe she said something about short rows in this one, so I'm really curious how the short rows are going to affect the gnome. My hope is that, I think she did say that this color, this one is the one I'm going to use for the one that uses the beard, or it knits up into the beard. And then I'm hoping this will be, if I've figured out the colors as I go, this will be kind of like the body of it. And then there's usually a hat, and I don't know what she's going to have. So, but anyway, she called for 4 colors, and she gave a few clues as hints as far as picking them. So I hope I have made good choices. So that will be, hopefully the next time I podcast, it will be partly done. And within a few weeks, I will have, I can't remember how long the actual knit along goes. It's not terribly long. But it was just, this is what got me spinning again. It was just fun to have a short project that I could finish like one color in a night or two, which is about my speed. So nice quick project. If there was a little bit of hay, the gnome's not going to care. It doesn't have to be incredibly consistent. So this was just a fun, fast spin. And that's what I'm planning on doing with that, and joining in with the mystery gnome along. And I will put some information on that below. If you are interested, there is still time to sign up. You do not have to hand spin. So if you've got some mini skeins laying around, you can totally join in. Let's see. I think, I was looking at my notes here, I think that's everything I had to tell you today. I have a whole bunch of quilting stuff in the queue, started, just not where I could wrestle it over here to show you. I have a lot of things coming up. Our state fair was canceled except for the 4-H youth animal shows. So I am not going to be taking anything to state fair, which is okay because I really didn't have anything prepared. Our local fair is in about 2.5 weeks, and I am not taking anything to the fair this year either. We are having the fair, at least as of now, but they have asked me to participate in the judging again. And last time I did that, and I had things entered in the fair, I had to excuse myself from the categories that I was entered in, and that was just kind of awkward. And so this year I elected not to take any, which I'm really regretting. I really enjoy putting stuff in there. and I'm a little concerned that this year maybe they won't have as much. So anyway, if art fair does go ahead and hold that, I will be judging. That's a hard job. You guys don't understand what judging a fair is like unless you've done it. I thought it was going to be a lot of fun, and it is. It's a fun morning. The other people are really nice to work with, but it's hard to pick. So I will let you know how that goes. Hopefully I won't have to wait all the way till September to talk to you again. But I will pop in as quick as I can. So thank you for listening to my ramblings. I hope you are having a wonderful summer. It's drawing to a close, so I hope you've had a wonderful summer and you're getting a lot of crafting done as well. Until I see you again, I hope your gathering basket fills up with blessings. See you later. Bye-bye.